In 1924, here in Sheldon, Iowa, the largest gathering took place. We've learned what that gathering was, and it wasn't a bright spot in our community's history. It's almost 100 years later as we're into 2024, and we have been asking God, could we rewrite history? Could we break the record of that dark day in 1924? So we are asking God for 25,001 festival goers at Rise Fest. Imagine being with us on the Rise Fest grounds with 25,000 people worshiping Almighty God and His Son, Jesus. As we go after this record, it's not so much about the numbers. It's about what took place almost 100 years ago. The Bible tells us that the battle isn't against flesh and blood, and we understand that. And so as I look out over the grounds from the stage, I think about all the individuals that could join us to etch our mark in history, breaking a stronghold from 100 years ago. No longer a dark day in history, but a new bright day. Join us to etch our mark in history with 25,001 of you joining us at Rise Fest 2024, worshiping Jesus.
Hello, my name is Dakota Caldwell, and I want to tell you about an awesome partnership I have. It is Up in Stitches in Knoxville, Iowa. Let me tell you a little bit about them. They carry our coffee cups, our t-shirts, and, there's something unique about them. Something that sets them apart from any other big merchandise store is this is a small business. So when you buy our merchandise, you're not only supporting the Dakota show by promoting, but you're also supporting a small business to continue their day in and day out operation. So if you're interested in any t-shirts, any coffee cups, you could go to upinstitches.com. That is upinstitches.com. They also have added our new Inclusion Series t-shirts along with our original logo stuff is still there as well. I encourage you to head on over to upinstitches.com. Let's continue on with the program.
Buckle up as we dive into the world of disability advocacy, where we break barriers, shatter stereotypes, and have a laugh or two along the way. Get ready for real stories, bold discussions, and a whole lot of empowerment. This is a podcast that proves disability is not a limit, but a superpower. So let's crank up the volume, spark the conversation, and make some noise for change.
Hello everybody, I am so excited to be here this month with you. Today I have a dear friend with me. Her name is Cara Leichty.
Hi.
And so, how are you doing today, Cara?
I'm doing good.
Would you like to tell them where and what you study and soon to have your degree in?
Yes. So I'm a college student. I'm a senior social work major at Dordt University. And I'll be graduating in May of this year, which is super exciting with my bachelor's of social work. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And it's college's work, and hence why I didn't go to college, because I don't work that good.
Whatever.
Do you want to tell the audience how we crossed paths?
Yeah. So last summer I was considering moving back home. I live southeast Iowa area. But I was just kind of looking for jobs around where my college is and then also back home, and I applied to the Village, which is where Dakota lives and is at. And yeah, I applied, got the job, started working in his home, and yeah, I guess I just met you there.
Yes. And that's how we grew a connection as well. Just so the people that are listening that want to know that as well. But before I go any further, my uncle and I were talking one time, and he's like, no one has my grandma and grandpa's last name, Leichty. And so when Cara told me her last name was Leichty, I about jumped out of my chair because I was so pumped. I'm like, what? And and so I don't know what she was thinking. She probably was thinking, this guy is definitely handicapped, all right. But anyway, I just had to put that in there. So now that we got that out of the way, so now that they know how we cross paths, what was your first thought when applying at BNU? Because some college kids may say, like, I'm only going to be here for the summer. I'm only going to be here for so-and-so months. But then I also hear, after they say that, I ask them again, and I say, so are you going to stay? And it's so neat to hear, like you, I believe you said, yeah, I think I'm going to actually stay here for a little bit longer than what I expected. But what was your first thought when applying?
Yeah, I guess a couple things. As far as like how long I was going to work there, the main goal was just to get a summer job, and then maybe if I liked it a lot, then I could do a couple shifts during the school year and stuff. But it was mostly just, for the summer and to gain experience. Another thought that I had is when I applied, I was just really nervous because before now, I'd never had any experience working with people with disabilities before or had been around that at all. And so that was also kind of nerve-wracking. So that's another reason why I wasn't sure that I would stay longer, because I was scared and I wasn't sure if it would be for me. And
And I think everybody has that fear of any job. Is it gonna be for me? Am I qualified enough in my own personal spirits that I'm going to be okay? But then when you put people with disabilities in there, society makes us out to be like this, big bad terrible thing, or even like we are so hard to take care of, it takes most of your time, blah 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 blah. So I feel like you put that in there too. Of course you're gonna be nervous, and so that is just my lingo for that. Number 5. So, what has been the most rewarding thing working at Village Northwest? And ladies and gentlemen, she better say the right thing. She better say the right thing.
Now I'm nervous. I would say a couple things again. I would say the top one is definitely just like getting to know the people and the residents here, and like a big thing for me is like walking in the door at the beginning of the shift and just being greeted so warmly and like, Cara, like, I don't even know. Yeah. It's just really a sweet feeling, and I feel really loved, and I hope that I can have them feel the same way for me. But and then another rewarding part I would just say is like seeing the people here like progress and reach certain goals that they have through like their programs and things that they're learning. That's also really cool to see and have them accomplish those. It's really special.
And it's special to be a part of that too, I think as of any parent, it's kind of like seeing your kids reach goals, but these are small goals, but they're big goals for certain individuals, and it's just cool to see them progress.
That's sweet.
In your opinion, what is one thing that sets Village Northwest apart from any organization?
I guess I'm not super familiar with other organizations that do similar things, but this is just going to kind of be a repeating thing, but I would just say, like, the relationships between staff and people who live here, like, I think that's just really is very prevalent, and everyone knows everyone. It's just kind of like a whole family thing. And then also their values are just really good. Like the whole dignity, privacy, purpose, like that's just all really good.
Yeah.
I sound like Brian.
It's a simple mission statement that I really do think drives the teamwork day in and day out, and not just in this house. I mean, all over in the HCBS waiver homes and everything like that. I think it just all kind of goes together if we follow those three things. It makes the world go around. So from your perspective, what does it take to be a DSP? And for those that don't know what a DSP is a direct support professional, and they mainly work one-on-one or in groups with the residents.
I guess one of the first things I would say is just empathy and compassion. I think you just treating the other well, and you don't know, you can't fully understand, like I can't fully understand your life and your day-to-day things. But you're a human and you're a person, so I can try and like, okay, what would it be like if I were in his shoes? And I can't fully understand that, but I think that's a good effort to make as far as like what kind of care would I want to receive and that type of thing, and just with anyone. And then I'd say patience is another one. Like be reliable, be responsible. Just give good care. I would say communication skills are also really big. Whether that's with coworkers or with the residents themselves. Just like, get feedback on how you're doing and how you can do better. And
I mean that is all great stuff, and that is all good stuff that parents or guardians also want to hear, no matter what their situation is that they are receiving good care. Putting your kid or having to come in into a ICF, given, for example, my situation, having to put your child's care in somebody else's hands, at the end of the day, that is nerve-wracking. And I'm not a parent, but even as an individual that understands, that's nerve-wracking just for me, because, I mean, I don't know what care I'm going to receive. I don't know how the people are like, But I've had a fairly good experience throughout me living here. But that's just kind of going back to what you said about receiving good care and stuff like that. So what, in your experience working as a DSP, are there any misconceptions that people do not understand in society?
I guess I would say that one thing, with just the way you worded that, I guess, that popped into my head, is just like, I think it's really easy to generalize, like you were talking about that right before this, but just like really easy to generalize people with disabilities, and like, but there's such like a variation, and like whether it's communication styles and like just all these other things. And also even with communication alone, like I think a really big misconception is if they're not verbal, then they can't communicate or they can't make choices. And I think that's a really, really big thing that I've seen also in just being a DSP and getting to work here and seeing different communication styles
Yeah.
and still being able to communicate even if they're not verbal and talking like,
Yeah, that
they're
they
used to.
that they still can make choices.
Yeah.
Yes, they may need a little guidance, but in reality, as we look at this, in reality, we all need a little guidance. Heck, I need that Jesus juice every month, So,
Every month.
So, I mean, and sometimes I wish I could have more, but, so we all need that little grace and that little compassion as well. So, I think that's what ties that back into what I said earlier. Could you explain to everybody, let's go whoopie pies, and I guess this kind of ties.
This is just a fun story. So was it for your birthday, right?
It was for my birthday, yes.
But it wasn't on your birthday because we were late getting. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was like around the time where I was saying like, let's go anytime he had something exciting to share. And it was around his birthday, and he wanted to make whoopie pies, which is something I guess we'd both kind of grown up with, but not a lot of people
know
knew
what
about
it
it or
is.
what it is.
Yeah.
Or have had homemade whoopie pies. So for his birthday, we made some together, and then I guess they were good or something. I don't even know how it came about. We were gonna start a business called Let's Go Whoopie Pies.
Let's
we
go
were gonna name
whoopie
the
pies.
recipe.
Yes.
It was something I don't even know.
Yeah.
That was fun though.
Yes,
Memories.
and it's memories. It's memories. People that are listening probably want to know, do you know where God has brought you after college?
Not 100% sure yet. There's a couple different like opportunities that are slowly presenting themselves as far as like location goes. But the main thing that I am planning on, and that is fairly set in stone, is I'm planning on going for my master's of social work.
Okay.
So to graduate school full time. And that's like an online program, so that really opens things up. I can go anywhere, do the courses from wherever. So that's the only thing I really know right now. But yeah, we'll kind of see where.
Well, and I mean that's good that it opens things up. You can do it from where you live now, or you could do it from your family's house.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so yeah, that's nice that technology does open that door. And then, can you tell me if there is somebody that's listening to this that's like, after listening to Cara Leichty, I think I have those same characteristics. Where can they apply?
Go to www.villagenorthwest.org/employment and go apply right now. Do it right now.
All right, and I'm gonna act like I'm a Pentecostal here, and can you just repeat that one more time?
Yep. www.villagenorthwest.org/employment.
And this next thing I was gonna add in here very quickly was a Bible verse, and this Bible verse is about perseverance. And it says, "He will give eternal life to those who keep on doing good, seeking after the glory, and honoring and immortality that God offers." And as you were talking about, it takes compassion, it takes this, I just thought that was a good fitting verse because it does take patience. It does take, that's what a DSP is, and any social worker job in this field, as an ICF, it takes a lot of patience, and I'm sure you know what that's all about. So, I just want to say, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I guess just a shout out to you, Dakota, for doing this and like doing such a good job and like advocating. I think that's just really cool, and you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it. Some days I feel like being in a wheelchair, but it's just part of it, So, is there any other shout out you would like to give?
Not that I can think of.
Not that you can think of. Okay, so when you go back to college today or whenever, they're not going to say, did you give me a shout out? Did you give me a shout out?
They're just going to have to be disappointed, I guess.
All right, well, thank you again. It's been a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure. And I know God will do great things with you. So keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, guys, this has been the interview with Cara Leichty. I will see you next time. And keep on advocating.